Turkey Day. Um, yeah, pray for the turkeys. I guess. I don't know if that's a good thing, a bad thing, whatever. Um, yeah, that's a weird thing. I gotta be careful what I say about Thanksgiving on this thing. I mean, I'm not sure what YouTube's gonna. I'm not sure if they can spin everything around anything I say, so I'm just gonna just not say anything. um, Past life bleed through, and universe reset. To go into the universe reset, I don't know. It's good to put out your misgivings or your thoughts to the universe or the guides of like, what are you guys doing? I'm not sure if that helps at all. Maybe. I have no idea. I haven't quite seen the results yet. Maybe it's too soon. Maybe a year of questioning their, or years of whatever. Maybe it hasn't been 10 years yet of questioning their authority. um, but it is good to put your reservations of how you think you're being treated here if you feel like it's not right. But sometimes you feel that, yeah, this has to happen. I remember that in the past, like has to be like this. It's like you can point out day one, this is how it needs to be. But then it gets to a point, like was like, come on, universe, put a little bit more effort into your. Come on, it's like I can phone this in. I can be on another planet right now, and just not deal with your world and its issues. It's like, when they say this world has to be a pain in the ass, it doesn't have to be like this, but come on now. So, yeah, I mean, do you have to be a complete scumbag to get anywhere in this world? Is that how it works? It's not worth it. It's like this world you just gotta turn this place off. If that's the case, just throw it out. It's just not worth it. Even all that stuff, the demonic stuff, all that gets kind of old. It's like, whatever. You guys are last year. Just anyway. Of course, some people they just want the chaos. They just feed off of it. It's just like, okay, whatever. It's like you see it on a human level, but you look at it from a different level. There's a bunch of creatures trying to devour each other. It's like, hey, if that's what you got, if that's what you need, go for it. But yeah, it's good to put your, you know, you know, question the spirit world's authority and how they're doing things, and who knows? They might intervene. It's hard to say. Is it that messed up? Is it like a department store where they can't disorganize themselves? Well, they have everything disorganized. Does it really have to be that way? That's not good. So, especially during the holidays. I have no idea. It's it's. I don't know if I want to know the whole thing. I'm told I come for our sessions. Schedule. Shop here. Some people want to live in decay and go through abuse and all that. And more power to them. I hope they attract everything they need in that category. Well, there must be somewhere where it's not always like that. Or is it everywhere like that? It can't be everywhere. Come on, people. It's like, man, talking about coming to the wrong planet. It's like, yeah, you guys go do you. Going nowhere. Just beat the crap out of each other forever. Yeah. Whatever. Also, past life bleed through. This came through, which I must be doing some kind of clearing. I haven't thought about this in a while, or it comes up every now and then. But yeah, in high school, yeah, I had definitely a different experience. Not that anybody wanted, but I had a past life bleed through of a musician incarnation from the 1700s. I knew a musician friend that was, I don't know, kind of parasitic, but either way, um, he mentioned someone's a musician of the past during the 1800s and like a composer, and just I flipped. Like I became somebody else. Well, it's like I feel it's like almost like it's weird. Like I was already a freak alright, but now we're going to the next level. I guess a psychiatrist will have a field day with that. But I mean, it might have been trauma from growing up in the crap family, but I don't know about that. I think it was probably trauma from a past life that was still going on and just came out. I just didn't go through it. I mean, because I connected that other lifetime, personality kind of altered because of it, and it was like, and this went on for years. I just, it took me a while to kind of burn it off. This is not just something that happened for a short time. It wasn't possession. It wasn't like I zapped out, became an NPC. It's like it just, yeah, because I mentioned this somewhat in the past, not like this, it was different. Yeah, and it was, but I think it was just trauma from that other lifetime that's still going. I'm still processing it. Jeez. It's only like a few hundred years ago. And if you knew the lifetime, actually, I'm not going to go into the details of it. Yeah, it kind of makes sense that some of the ego came through, some of the just like, it was not me, it was the other me. It's kind of, I wouldn't say it's similar to how people get pushed out and another one comes in. It was like, I wouldn't say that. It was like the other lifetime just was still in pain and it came through me. Yeah, it was weird. It wasn't done clearing. And I just had a thought of it just recently, like before this. So I must be clearing it out still, which is fascinating. So yeah. So what I'm bringing it up is, I imagine there's many out there have been through something of that. Maybe not even knows it. Maybe not even knowing it. Like all of a sudden, I don't know. I get like, this sounds, in the modern world, this makes no sense for some people, but I get like poets or something like that, modern poets or poets of the past that were probably starving and disrespected and whatever, and now they're living now, doing something different, and they might go through like maybe like relationship traumas or whatever it might be from another lifetime. Like maybe you're in a good relationship and you just end up ruining it because you're kind of psychotic in another life. Whatever. Either way, it's like there's definitely bleed throughs of. It can go different ways, but definitely a bleed through, I would say, is more through trauma from another incarnation. It just is not quite healed, and especially like a war lifetime. Now, I'm not doing this SSP stuff. I'm so tired of hearing about that. It's just not. That could be part of it too. The ones that are the SSP, that would be like 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 more real than those have been artificially placed there. I think some are just way too focused on that. But either way, the past life incarnations from here, as you can see, life here is not exactly, especially, I mean, back then it was like disease and everything. Health was not so great. And you add to everything else that was on there. It's like, I guess you can say life was simpler, but, still had a lot of issues. And now things have gotten faster and more hollow, but either way. Well, you find, yeah, it's kind of like in this incarnation, you find like there's a room on your table to release it. It's weird. It's like now's the time to bring it through, even if it's like, I don't know. So yeah, it might sound like almost like a double personality or something like that, but yeah, you'd be surprised. I guess it depends on just where you are, on your spiritual path too. It all depends. Well, some people tap into fairy lifetimes. They might go into drugs or whatever it might be, or go into their alien lifetimes where they're on drugs or whoever it is. Or they connect to the wrong people. Like they somehow feel like relationship wise, friendship wise, they connect to the wrong people, but in their mind they're the right people because they remember things that are good about them, but they're not always seeing their darkness here or whatever it is, and even going through the abuse and so on, and so so there's all pieces there. So so it's happened to the past life bleed through. It's just kind of just feel your energy and just tap into yourself and just feel like if you've ever been through it, especially as a kid, you can go through it. I have like the terrible twos or whatever it might be, especially those that have had demonic connections in their past. They remember they're a demon. Yeah. Well, some of that's for defensive purposes. They're just, hey, I'm a badass, I'm a demonic being, get away from me, and they can be completely insecure. So that give you some insight there. So yeah, it's kind of as much science they have on the mind and psychology and all that. I don't. If they're open minded, they can. But a lot of them are not probably open minded and book smart, taught, or whatever it is. They think you're just crazy. Take some pills, but you kind of have to get it out of your system. Yeah, it's messed up. Think about if you're wired, we're all wired in our previous incarnations. And it can get kind of, like I said, if it's a traumatic lifetime of even in a relationship situation or whatever it might be, it just, it's gotta find its way through. I mean, like I say, I went through it for years. It wasn't just like a couple of days or months. It was years. It's weird. Like you have to be kind of difficult just for the sake of being difficult. There's more to it than that, but the idea is to be dramatic about it. Without going into all the details of it. Was a musician a lifetime, so and there's a lot of health issues in that lifetime too, so it's kind of like it's okay for me to be crazy, something like that. It's kind of expected too. It was very almost cartoonish, comical at times, depending on where you are. So anyway. Especially you're going through health difficulties, and no one's listening to you, so you're becoming psychotic. Then they start listening to you, something like that. Well, it's not always the case, but there's cases of it. So anyway, all right, we're going to I don't know. I guess go to a Pleiadian. It feels like a Pleiadian energy needs to come in for that. Like I said, the first thing I picked up on. So just do a Pleiadian aspect of that, and we'll just keep it kind of short tonight. So all right, blessings. Greetings to you, the Pleiadians. Send you energies. So those of you who are incarnating here to assist humanity's frequency to be, on the world stage, can, have its difficulties, and sometimes you have to get your attention. But for a past life, bleed through, it's trauma, is just unresolved situations in your life. If I only lived a couple more years and you might have died, and now you're here in this life, so you're kind of returning to your misery of the past, or continuation of pieces of it. It's fragments of the past that have not been healed, especially if you die dramatically or just through illness. Yes, it can come through. Yeah, and you can be hard headed as a child also, so you can still be that person as a kid too, and just make no sense. Yes, a crazy person basically. And some are double beings. Yeah, of course you can also act like a double if you were. Yeah, and that was just to get attention or whatever it might be. Sometimes it's just to get attention, just to, and it can be ego enforced at the same time. But a lot of it is, yeah, as a child you might go through different phases. Some are fairies, some do talk to their invisible friends and all that because they had those in other lifetimes. So, but in this incarnation cycles are, yeah, but really around the children age is like 5 to 10. It could be sooner or after that, but between 5 and 10. Other lifetimes can come through. Yes, so you might have these different mood swings, and of course you don't remember when you get older, but your parents have to go through it, and sometimes the parents, yes, deserve a medal to put up with a, yeah, psycho kid. Especially when you're a kid, it keeps changing personalities, and you can go through different mood swings of other incarnations. I mean, what better? I mean, no one's gonna notice. You're just a kid. As long as they don't give you any medical treatment, for being psychotic, you can get out of your system. And being a kid is the best place to do it because no one really expects you to be weird. So just going through a phase, yeah. But it's actually a past life phase. But when you're older, yeah, it's harder. But when you're older, you're like able to handle that type of trauma to come through. Yeah, and even sometimes people are directed to the wrong people, relationship wise. They get drawn, sometimes, yeah, you get drawn to the wrong crowds, the wrong relationships at like teenage years, and then they wonder what the hell they're doing with that. Well, if you're attracted to that same person that was toxic in another lifetime, you're attracted to, you have not quite, you're still living that zombie life, you can say, and not realizing it. Yeah, it can be kind of psychotic if it's toxic. So it's just, yeah, there's so much traumas in this reality. This is why beings don't want to come here, but that's why you come here to. Yeah, of course it's difficult. Like if you have like a lot of failures within a winning, it kind of softens off the incarnations. Like, yeah, you went through some terrible times, but also you got some good times, and that helps you get through this. But all you have is like one failure after the other. Yeah, it makes you not want to come back here. That's for sure. It's like that's not. You need some kind of win, and that's why you can come incarnate here back. And yes, many do have unresolved situations. That's why you come back, and yeah, you might not like the idea of coming back, but it's like it's lingering with you if you don't. It's like you come here. It's like you come back here to resolve, either cut a cord, whatever it might be. Yeah, you might come here just to cut cords and just live here peacefully. That's the idea. And how many here really live this world peacefully? Not a lot. And as you become more spiritually aware, you cut the cords even faster. It's like this needs to all come, but also you can go through a lot more challenges also because you're breaking out of the control system too. Yeah, when basically many of you are on this path now are releasing this Earth's energy, but not everybody's fully understanding it. Some feel like they haven't understood, but it doesn't really matter on that level. But there's just a lot of, still confusion, of course. This world, because the world's hooked into the physical realms, but a lot can be resolved here that can't be resolved in the spirit realms. Well, if you go back to the origins of your past, but also the physical realms balances out the non-physical, and the non-physical can get kind of insane, as some of you notice, and you're coming here to resolve the non-physical realms here. Like you can go too fast in the higher dimensions, and you come here and live a slower lifetime, which is difficult. But it just, yeah, to ground you, because just because you can do things faster in a higher realm doesn't mean that you're doing things correctly. The more you slow down, you can just be more detail connected. It's complicated. You don't have to think too much into it, but those that are going into the past life bleed throughs are, yeah, it's like I said, it's usually trauma related. Then again, there are those that do have wealthy incarnations that are homeless now or very poor. I feel like they are of the upper crust. And some are still going through their Julius Caesar timelines that, especially if they're very much into politics, a lot of that comes back to Roman times. And there were celebrities back then as politicians. So, and now they're in modern times being celebrities as politicians. You couldn't do that. And not well, you could, but nothing like now. Yeah. So, yes, enjoy the egos. If the Romans only had TV. Yeah, that's why if somebody feels like, oh gosh, not again. Yeah, so there's a lot of repeat going on currently. Well, yeah, there's even bleed through with that because they could not say, well, they say what they hear on TV, so they blame that more political side through and just wear everybody out, cause a divide, and so on. There's many more other directions to go with all this, but kind of gives you an insight to why that's happening. It's mostly theater. Decisions have already been made. It's just the theater is selling it. It's like a PR event politically. It's part of your growth here. So.